One race down and 12 to go. Last Tuesday was the beginning of another chapter in Canadian Motorsports Network history when we got a new season of American open wheel racing underway. And oh boy, was it ever a thriller. We're going to talk about a little bit more about that before tonight's event. But the chapter continues tonight for the Greg Moore Cup. Good evening, folks, and welcome aboard another live production for Season 2 of the Canadian Motorsports Network DART Series on iRacing. We are at the Long Beach Street Circuit in Long Beach, California for Round 2 of 13 of the running for the second annual Greg Moore Cup. It's the Grand Prix of Long Beach. And now we'll take it here into the commentary booth towards our faces, and that's not what I was expecting.
I mean, Long Beach, we're in California. Got to be like the Californians.
Apparently.
But then again, it is also Long Beach, so we can expect a little bit of this as well.
Yeah, we can preach to Andy Hurdle on that one a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, I've made the reference, but yes, I am in fact here.
He is. That's what's most important. But yes, welcome to the commentary booth here for the Canadian Motorsports Network DART Series once again. I am Regan McCauley from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, the voice of the Canadian Motorsports Network, your main play-by-play and broadcaster guy. On the other side, he's been here since the very beginning. He's on the other side of the country in Alberta. It is Jordy Caraher. Now, Jordy, we're coming off an interesting DART Season 2 opening race, to say the least, where we witnessed 19 of 20 cars take to the Barber Motorsports Park to begin a new chapter in American open wheel racing within the network. iRacing Pro License driver Charlie Sears claimed the pole by 4/10 over network veteran Corbin McCauley, but would have his debut not even make it past the first corner after being hit from behind. And McCauley would take the lead, but not for too long, as rookie Dylan Bahm continued his momentum from his first career NASCAR Series victory a few weeks prior to give us and the audience a hell of a show for 10-plus laps, not getting away from each other for a long time. It was something like 10-plus laps. My math is not perfect. Several mistakes by McCauley would give Bahm the opportunity to be the class of the field, and he did just that en route to taking the checkered flag for his first career DART Series victory. It's funny, we initially thought Bahm had violated a rule where he only used one tire compound versus the two that you must use in each race this season, but iRacing gave us some good old technological difficulties and had us fooled. But regardless, Jordy, Bahm won, and what an open wheel debut was for the number 3 SimLeaguePro.com Team 44 Racing Toyota.
Yeah, I mean, after that initial battle that you were referencing, it was pretty much clinical from that point on. Bahm just kept extending that advantage in the number 3 Toyota, and yeah, guy was just absolutely on fire. Once we got everything cleared up, obviously, we were able to kind of celebrate things a little bit more. I know that probably took a little bit away from the post-race festivities there last week, but hey, well-deserved, and obviously, the performance kind of speaks for itself.
Indeed so, and we're going to take a look at more than just Dylan Bahm here. The rest of the race results, the first time we actually get to take a look at these because, well, last Tuesday we quite literally had none. We were just beginning the season, but anyways, here are the results from the 2023 edition of the Grand Prix of Alabama. Bahm won by a blistering 30 seconds and led 38 of 45 laps, earning himself an extra 3 points for leading one or more laps and leading the most laps. He also had the fastest lap and the best average lap out of anyone. McCauley qualified second and settled for second with a bonus point for leading 7 laps. Another driver making his open wheel debut was C.D. Magrum, who started 5th and finished on the bottom of the podium. Not too shabby for the number 1 GTR Motorsports BMW. Open wheel veterans Andy Hurdle and Darcy Ford rounded at the top 5, showing clear improvements on the iRacing service after taking time to transition during Season 4 of NASCAR. Jose Mercado's open wheel road course debut, yes, we gotta get specific there because he does have an Indy 250 start from the past. He was mightily impressive with a 6th place finish. First car one or more laps down. Yes, only the top 5 ended up finishing on the lead lap in last Tuesday's race. Mike Marini, 2023 Formula 1 All-Star Series points runner-up Ty Higginbottom, 2021 Formula 1 Series champion Daniel Cudmore, and yet another open-wheel rookie in Hunter Young rounded out the top 10. And Jordy, take us the rest of the way.
All right, yeah, we kick it off to Michael Dimitrov finishing number 11th number 11th, finishing 11th in the number 19. Good God, this is going to be a long day. Then you've got Patrick Hernandez finishing 12th in his Dart Series, really Canadian E-Motorsports Network series, network debut. A couple laps down there as well for him. Kyle Knoll finishing 13th as we get into some of the drivers who got collected in, let's be honest, quite a bit of the carnage that went down last week. Jason Butler, another such casualty. He and Darcy Cudmore getting tangled up, finishing 14th and 15th respectively. Series debut for Mark Ouellette, unfortunately, came to an early end for him as he finishes 16th. Ivan Reynolds, another early casualty in 17th. And then you mentioned it earlier, pole sitter Charlie Sears. He tried to kind of limp his way around after starting on pole, but ultimately just had to retire the car. So classified 18th, and then Jonathan Swainson in the number 99 was the last to actually take the green flag, as Caden Tufts did not appear last week.
Unfortunately, no, the Maritime League Legends Tour driver did not make the show due to other personal priorities, and he is indeed, on my timing screen here, he is in fact in the server, so he will be making his first full-time Canadian Motorsports Network start. Again, he did participate in the Oysterbed Speedway 250 a couple weeks back, but that was not points, that was just for fun. But now he can worry about points. But anyways, speaking of points, here are your first edition of championship point standings here in the Dart Series. Dylan Bahm's extra 3 points help him command the series with a 12-point lead. I mean, no crap, he's still not one bit safe. And yeah, pretty much the rest of the way, it's just all, you just grab all the drivers from the actual, results, and it's basically just a carbon copy of that. But from here on out, that's not going to be the case, as more races go on and all that, it's going to keep changing back and forth. But we can clearly tell that, again, we got a couple rookies up. We got the mixture of rookies and veterans up towards the top, which will no doubt continue to make this season an absolute thriller here in the Dart Series. And now, just give me a second here. That's better. We can now take a look at the rookie points, which, go figure, Bahm leads this as well. 18 points over Magrum and 25 points over Mikado. Don't be afraid of seeing Charlie Sears and Caden Tufts at the bottom, because there's no doubt that they will be reaching for the stars from here on out, and will try to climb a long ladder to show what they've got on paper. And then we take a look at the manufacturer standings, where we also see a 12-point lead here for Toyota. Note at the bottom that engine manufacturers are credited with the points of their top finishing single driver in each race. And so far, Toyota leads the way with Honda and BMW rounding out the podium. And then there's something a little bit interesting here that I'll get your opinion on here, Jordy, and that would be the Nations Cup. Something new that has been introduced to the Dart Series and the Canadian Motorsports Network. Drivers within the series will compete to see if Canada or the United States is the best. The top 5 finishers from each country will count towards their team total. After round 1, advantage United States by 33 points. It's notable to see that the states have gotten major help from rookies thus far, while Canada's points have come from 4 veterans and 1 rookie so far. And so this will be an interesting storyline to keep an eye on as the season progresses. Again, driver points, rookie points, manufacturer points. We got the Nations Cup going. There's a lot of things at stake here. It's not just the driver points and going for that coveted Greg Moore Cup. There's a lot more things on the line here in Season 2 of the Dart Series, Jordy.
Yeah, and I mean, I love this aspect. I mean, I grew up as a golf guy, so I grew up on the Ryder Cup as well. And I mean, that just happened a week or two ago. The U.S. got absolutely destroyed in that one. Don't hurt me, American viewers. That's how it happened. But yeah, definitely a positive start on the southern side of the 49th parallel to begin this year. But again, I think there is potential for, this particular battle to even out really as the season progresses. And arguably, I'd say this will be the closest of the battles that we have when all is said and done.
Sorry. Indeed so, Jory. So now we can take a look here at the schedule once again. Again, friendly reminder, this is just the first half. Remember, it's 13 races, not 6. We wouldn't do that to our drivers. We're going to pretty much remind everyone about that until we get to the second half of this season schedule. But Also should be noted that the car engine power is wrong. It's actually minus 5%, not minus 7.5. But anyways, we're now at round 2 as we travel from the southeast to the west coast with our first run on a street circuit. The Grand Prix of Long Beach will be a 45-lap dash on a circuit with 11 very unique and diverse corners, plus multiple long straightaways. If we have a battle to the checkered flag, the front stretch will get plenty of momentum for something special. And if we just get a bit of a scenic view here of Long Beach as we continue to discuss this track. It's hosted racing since 1975, beginning with Formula 5000 and Formula 1 racing. In the 1980s, it changed into a marquee event for top-of-the-line American open-wheel racing, and has been just that ever since. At 1.9 miles and 3.1 kilometers, the circuit notably includes a fountain roundabout in turns 2 and 3, and a sharp hairpin turn in the final corner, which will no doubt play a role in tonight's racing product. And for the unfamiliar, or even if you're familiar, you can still get a feel for this unique facility. Let's take a look at the ride-along, Jordy. I'll let you take this one.
Absolutely, and this is a very, very interesting lap. Not as many kind of ups and downs as we saw at Barber last week, but it is absolutely all out coming down East Shoreline Drive through this opening right-hander known as Bridgestone, kind of a longer go. But now you'll hit the brakes around 300 meters, quick turn into the Toyota turn here too. Now you get into that fountain chicane that you were referencing. Car control is going to be at an absolute premium there as you come through turn 4. Not a whole lot of gear changes through this particular section as we get to another right-hander. And yeah, a little bit of a shorter approach before we get to turn 5, which is known as, or sponsored as, the Tecate turn. And now you come up Pine Avenue here, and you're going to swing across here on turn 6. Now you get on to West Shoreline Drive, another one of the straightaways here on the Long Beach circuit. And yeah, you're looking at about a 300-meter braking board there into turn 7. Now you're in kind of the final couple turns here already. And here's that final hairpin you were referencing, Riggs. And you got to absolutely nail that exit, because that's going to set your tempo for your speed as you come down East Shoreline Drive once again. And there is a lap of Long Beach at about 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Indeed. So obviously not going to be near as long as what we had back at Barber for the Grand Prix of Alabama, of course, but as we just go back to the scenic view here, because qualifying is going to begin in just a little bit. Again, it's 10 minutes. You just post your best lap and see what you can do. And if I can confirm right now, we have 18 cars on the track so far. If I were to catch the absences, I'm not. Maybe I'll get into this, or actually, it's looking like 18 now. Yeah, so I'll get into that in just a second. I'll let you get to something here, Jordy. But one thing I want to note is whenever we raced here in Season 1 of the DART Series last year, and again, it was the Grand Prix of Long Beach, the first edition of it, AJ Knickel got the victory, the 2022 champion, who's obviously not with us now. But some notable drivers from those final results: Darcy Ford 2nd, Mike Marini 3rd, Daniel Cudmore 5th, Andy Hurdle 6th, Reynolds, Dimitrov 7th and 8th, and then you got some other guys, Darcy Cudmore finishing 12th. A lot of drivers, notably too, DNF'd, and Jason Butler, Ty Higginbottom, and then Corbin McCauley didn't even start the race. So again, too, we have to remember Season 1 had about half the field that we have now, as we just saw a car go spinning there on the scenic view. But anyways, yeah, it's going to be another season here where we're going to be seeing another race where we see someone new come into victory lane. I mean, obviously, Dylan Bahm did visit victory lane last week at Barber, but when it comes to the Grand Prix of Long Beach, we're no doubt going to get someone new. And again, there's that one guy I'm kind of keeping an eye on from those final results is Darcy Ford, because he qualified 11th and finished 2nd in the 2022 edition. So that's no doubt going to be something to keep an eye on, along with some of those other names that finished within the top 5 and the top 10.
Yeah, and I think part of it, again, with just how tight this Long Beach street circuit is, attrition could play a key role in it. We talked about it during the hot lap there that, especially coming through that fountain section and the couple of corners right after, car control is going to be just as important as, getting it around at, a half decent speed, because, if you're in the wall, you're not really going that far, to say the very least. Not to put too fine of a point on it, but yeah, this is going to be a place where really kind of hitting your spots and just kind of keeping yourself in control and not really overthinking it is going to make the biggest difference, and it's going to be indicative of, what our driver's potential could be over the course of the season.
Absolutely. And as I'm taking a look here at this timing screen, I suppose I might as well put on the iRacing volume just so that people can actually hear the cars going around, because definitely got to get a feel for that. But now I think I said 17, then 18. Now there's 19 cars in here. I think the one driver that we are missing is the number 67 of Ivan Reynolds. I cannot see his name nor number 67 in there. So the number 67, Ayers Racing, I believe that's how you say it, sponsored by Rampage Coffee Co. and driving for the Vespa manufacturer. He looks to be, again, it looks to be another week here where we're only going to get 19 of 20 drivers participating in a Dart Series Season 2 race.
Well, we'll see about that. I know he actually liked the Facebook post saying we're live, so I think he's in the region. Just a matter of, getting him on track here, and we'll have to see. I haven't seen anything to suggest that he won't be there, and he is very committed whenever he's in the series, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop by, but yeah, just hasn't showed up yet.
And so yeah, practice is just about to come to an end here for the Grand Prix of Long Beach. If I put the ticker on right now just to see what is up, you get a bit of an onboard view there as well. So far, at the end of practice here, it looks like Charlie Sears is going to be at the top by about a tenth there over Corbin McCauley. Notably, Patrick Hernandez up there in the third spot, not too bad. And Caden Tufts in his first start up in the fifth position.
Yeah, I think things could get a lot more fun here now that we're seeing some more names kind of coming out of the woodwork here.
Indeed so. So looks like the first car coming off the pit lane, unless, again, because I'm on him and not on anyone else. Maybe I didn't see anyone in front of him. But anyways, here we are with the number 32 of Charlie Sears, the only driver in the Dart Series here for this season with a pro license on iRacing. Participates in the, let me get the name for it again, it's the Grand Prix Turn Racing iRacing Series. That is quite the mouthful, that's for sure. But yeah, driving for $4.99 Racing with the Chevrolet manufacturer. Only driver and even in network history to have a pro license, unless we get someone like Corbin McCauley coming through in the near future to maybe make his way up towards the Coca-Cola iRacing Series if he does continue to choose that route. But one other thing that we can talk about notably with the number 17 is that this guy now owns a race car in real life.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how
and no, it's not one of these cars.
No, definitely not one of these. Let's make that very clear. Well, first of all, because this is a custom model built for iRacing, so it definitely wouldn't have one in real life. But
yes,
no, the overarching point that I was going to make is that, we've seen the kind of rise of the simulator driver in terms of kind of actually making legitimate progress. Like during COVID, obviously, how many different iRacing series did we wind up seeing on TV? A lot with, the NASCAR crew, and that was more or less, you think of a guy like William Byron getting that start effectively and transitioning over to the real thing. And, it's very interesting to see how that feel could transfer from being behind a virtual wheel to, again, getting acclimated with the real thing and really applying some of those techniques that have been learned in the virtual environment.
It says Rick Allen said his career started on a computer. So we might be able to put it that way with him, as there's a car that went around behind him. I could not tell who the heck that was.
I feel like it would have been said in exactly that accent as well. He started on a computer. Feels like it's how it should go.
So far, Charlie Sears with the best time at a 103.990, just barely above a 104. Jonathan Swainson in second, or now McCauley jumps to second as I say that, 2/10 behind the 32. There's Swainson in third with a 105.4. Jason Butler just stopped in the middle of the track. Or no, that's pit road, actually. Thank God.
Yeah. Good old East Shoreline Drive throwing us off already.
Yeah, just keep an eye on whenever Sears gets back around here through turn 1 as he'll get to turns 2 and 3. How likely are we going to see a car end up on that thing?
Well, I mean, I know you've basically tried to will that into existence already, but I mean, if things get tight, a couple of cars in there, I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of room to operate. So I could see it, but the one thing I am encouraged to see is the actual difference in tire compounds being workable here tonight.
Especially too being, I think, a shorter, again, less turns, and I would imagine maybe a shorter circuit than Barber, so things are definitely going to be a lot quicker. Strategies are going to have to be somewhat quicker there, and hopefully the tire compound issue, the technological issue that we had last week at Barber, hopefully doesn't strike us again, because Dylan Bahm, of course, had the hard tire. Hang on a second. There we go. He had swapped from medium to hard in that second half the whole time, and yet we all thought he had stuck on the mediums and violated a rule, as we said earlier in the pre-race show. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh gosh!
Well, it wasn't the fountain, but not far off.
I still haven't made a Perfectly Cut Screams NASCAR video yet. I think I should for Dart 2. I think we just got a candidate right there. I mean, quite frankly, the battle we saw between Bahm and McCauley last Tuesday was, I think we may have gotten multiple Perfectly Cut Screams from that one, because that, man, was just stress-inducing.
Yeah, and I was going to say, are those two actually coming out on track again together here?
As a matter of fact, they are.
Well, I mean, talk about perfectly timed, right? But
they can never get away from each other.
And they couldn't last week either. And I mean, Perfectly Cut Screams are one thing. I think we were closer to when Harry met Sally's I'll have what she's having levels of excitement.
Oh my lord.
Well, am I wrong?
I'll say no. How about that?
There was a hesitation there.
Well, I just got the word. That's a little unfortunate. This visual tire bug compound thing, it's still a thing.
That's strange, because I saw, like, when you went from Sears to Bahm, it showed Sears on the medium, and clearly we see Bahm on the hard. So
I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's something different when it comes to the race. I have absolutely no idea, but we'll just have to find out when the race goes along. The way I put it is well, Bahm's certainly putting it a certain way, again, but
just trying to get acclimated with some of the tighter turns / escape roads.
Yeah, exactly, because we might see a couple traffic jams here tonight, but anyways, what was I going to say there? We're just going to have to try and do a regular call by the end if we still have an issue, just in case, because I know last week was a little unknown, so
yeah, I mean, I think just kind of sit back and enjoy the ride, for lack of a better term.
So yeah, both visually and on the ticker, yeah, it's basically what we had last week. It's going to keep going, so we're just going to have to do what we can, and if we do get to the end, and unfortunately we have another scenario of us thinking a driver violated a rule, we're just going to have to roll with it, and then whatever happens at the end, like whatever decision's made is made. We'll just have to roll with it.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and again, I think it just leads to a better overall end product as well.
It's like you said, just have fun, watch the show, and see what unravels as we're down to almost a minute remaining here in the 10-minute qualifying session for the Grand Prix of Long Beach 2023 edition, the second annual running here within the DART Series on iRacing. So far at the top with a 102.8 is Charlie Sears, Dylan Bahm, and Andy Hurdle rounding out the qualifying podium so far. Corbin McCauley just outside by just over a tenth, I believe, if my math is correct there. Darcy Ford, 5th. C.D. Mangrum in 6th. There's Jonathan Swainson, as you see on the broadcast. The number 99 Pun Q Racing Team Buick? Pun Crew, sorry. That looks to be a Daniel Cudmore graphic mistake.
Uh-oh.
It says Pun Q, but it's actually supposed to be Pun Crew.
Well, we'll just let that one marinate a little bit as Swainson goes for a spin.
Jonathan heard the mistake and was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
McCauley just jumped up to the 3rd position as qualifying comes to a conclusion, 103.9. So he jumps Andy Hurdle to get on the podium. So the qualifying podium looks to be Sears, Bahm, and McCauley, at least so far. Unless something happens. And there's a crash behind Sears.
Yeah, I mean, the background, that was in fact a something.
So I think that's kind of it right there. We're still going to go through the starting grid, but I believe that's it right there. Sears, Bahm, McCauley is the qualifying podium. And if I look at some other drivers, notably Caden Tufts will start in 8th for his first career Canadian Motorsports Network start. Again, full-time start. The number 00 for Caden Tufts Racing, Caden Tufts Designs Racing, whatever you want to call it there. Sponsoring Brad Waden Mortgages, LBT Pallets, and Timberley Beverage Room, by the looks of it. So the Nova Scotian real-life driver within the Maritime League of Legends Tour, not too shabby for his first open-wheel start here. As we wait for everyone to line up on the grid, well, actually, we're going to have another 20 seconds until then. But, again, earlier, Jordy, we were talking about how difficult this track will be, how tight it is, how interesting it will be. Again, long straightaways, very unique and diverse corners. You got the fountain chicane. You have the hairpin turn in the final corner leading all the way down to the longest straightaway imaginable, longer than the freaking Amazon River. Are you going to say anything about this qualifying order, or are you just going to let things play out because who the heck knows what happens?
I mean, I say, like, the order is one thing because obviously street circuits do usually prove to be much more difficult to overtake on. But again, as long as, like, Long Beach, I think it's fair to expect that, there will be some carnage somewhere along the way. And how many times did we say it on the NASCAR side of things? Keeping your car clean and being there in the end will be, the most important thing, as we still see the order there. But, I think ultimately, as I say, just whoever keeps it clean will find themselves in a good spot at the end, regardless of what kind of happens around them.
Absolutely, as I just continue to make ticker mistakes, because I just love to have a very terrible memory. But anyways, we're going to completely forget about all that, and we are going to go trackside here very soon. Going to give the command, the most famous words in motorsports, to get these drivers to fire up their open-wheel DART Series on iRacing engines and get ready to continue that run for the second annual Greg Moore Cup with the second edition of the Grand Prix of Long Beach here at the Long Beach Street Circuit in Long Beach, California. Again, Charlie Sears starting on the pole. We will be back with the engines fired up and the starting grid to analyze. I guess that's a word to use. My mind went blank there. But anyways, we'll be back. There you hear the engines get fired up here under the whatever you call that.
I'd probably go with an overpass of some sort, but that's not really a highway structure, so I don't know if that's even right.
Anyways, it's time to reveal the starting grid here for the 2023 Grand Prix of Long Beach. Again, as we said earlier, starting on the front row, we have the number 32. Yeah, it's actually an all-rookie front row. We have the number 32 of Charlie Sears and his Chevrolet alongside the number 3 Toyota of Dylan Bahm. And then it's the veterans here from 3rd to 5th, the number 17 Honda of Corbin McCauley alongside the number 7 Rolls-Royce of Andy Hurdle.
All right, and rounding out the top 5, we've got the number 64 of Darcy Ford, also, I believe, sporting the Rolls Royce,
Correct.
with CD Mangrum and the number 1 Beamer on his outside starting 6th. Moving on to row 4 now, we've got Jonathan Swainson. He'll start 7th in the number 99 Buick, of course, that Greg Moore-themed livery, which we love given it's the Greg Moore Cup. Then, series debut in Caden Tufts in the 00 Chevy. He'll start 8th.
Not too bad for the rookie there in Caden Tufts, and also the real-life driver, of course. And now, row 5, we have the number 12 Audi of Mike Marini, and alongside him, rounding out the top 10, will be the number 9 BMW of Jose Mercado. And now moving on here to just outside the top 10 with the number 10, and again, another Rolls-Royce in Jason Butler, alongside one of your favorite guys, Jordy, I would imagine, the number 19 Ford of Michael, I used to say Dimitrov, it's Dimitrov.
Yeah, good old Dimi Räikkönen there starting in 12th as we move on to row 7, where we've got Kyle Knoll starting in 13th, the number 15 Chevy. Then, Toyota, it's the Chevy that's next, I should say, in the form of the number 77 of Hunter Young. He'll start 14th. Hopefully our drivers can have some of those saves on the track as we move on to row 8. And we got Darcy Cudmore starting 15th in the number 75 Ford. He'll have Mark Ouellette on his outside. The number 80 Chevy starts 16th.
And then rounding out the field with the number 97 Toyota of Ty Higginbottom, a former Canadian Motorsports Network champion. And there's another one, too, as well, in the Formula 1 series, the number 2 Ford of Daniel Cudmore. And then rounding it all out, we have a rookie who was actually pretty fast in practice, the number 91 of or originally was towards the start, the number 91 of Patrick Hernandez. And I'm not familiar. Is that a what?
Subaru.
Subaru, that's what it. Why did I almost say Volkswagen? Am I dumb? Jesus.
Well, I mean, the less you talk about these things on air, the less people notice. But the one thing I did notice in the course of going over that grid, 17 through 19, so Higginbotham, Dan Cudmore, and Patrick Hernandez, none of those 3 set qualifying times. So potential for them to jump through the order here as we see some guys coming through that hairpin. And we're off and running. You take it from here.
So off the hairpin turn, down the long straightaway. Let's go racing. It's the Grand Prix of Long Beach as Charlie Sears gets a blistering start on the rest of the field. They'll come into this first corner. Hopefully everyone has brakes coming in. Here we go. So actually not really for the number 3 of Dylan Bahm. As Macaulay will jump up to second. We're going to have to watch everyone coming through this first corner here. Looks to be so far so good. I believe everyone did pretty much make it through as Sears continues to lead the way by about 7/10 or so. That was a lot cleaner than I thought it would be. Well, again, everyone was separated too, kind of.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this off air before the race started, Riggs. I think people understood the challenge that Long Beach presented for these Dallara IR01s, but yeah, I think ultimately keeping control was, the most dominant thing here in the minds of our drivers. And yeah, it's a clean start all the way through. And another little bit of kind of noteworthy stuff that we got during the pre-drivers meeting. Out of the top 5, 4 starting on mediums. Andy Hurdle, he's ready to go. He's starting on the hards, and he's making a gamble that rubber is going to last the rest of the way, last a little longer than the other 4 around him, and that's something I can legally say.
So I was told on the ticker, the mediums are the mediums, the softs are the hards, and the hards are the softs.
So we got a little bit of a bizarro world here, things happening in reverse.
So, I mean, if you look at the tire compounds on the ticker, then there you go. Trouble! The 0-0 of Caden Tufts is around.
And being careful to pivot around here to make sure it's a safe re-entry onto the track. And good show there from the 00.
Oh, come on. Don't give me this glitch. Damn it. God, there we go. All right, let's see what happened to the 0-0. Okay, that's a little too close. Oh, yes, he just lost it, and bam! Into the wall.
Yeah.
So again, as we go back, again, it was going through turns 2 and 3. Eventually coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, started to get a little loose there, and I think it's through 5 that he goes around here, and yeah, there he goes.
Not ideal for the 0-0, who again qualified 8th. So he'll have to make his way back up in 18th, as Darcy Cudmore's right behind him, as a matter of fact. But as we continue on, oh, would you look at that? The 17 and the 3 can just never get away from each other.
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of room to work with out there. We've said that a couple of times, but again, Bahm just running a little bit wide there through.
Oh, the 77. Hunter Young has trouble in turn 3. So Darcy Cudmore will get past him, as it looks like Hayden Tufts is now in his pit box on pit road after that incident. We'll see what happened here with the 77.
Yeah, just trying to... Yeah, I think it just took too much curb going through that fountain chicane. Like, it's one thing to try and stay tight to avoid that far wall, but you do have to kind of have it on a string going through that section.
So Caden Tufts is going to go one lap down as Charlie Sears leads the way by about a second and a half over the 17, and you could even argue the number 3 as well, because again, Macaulay and Bahm are right back at it, close to each other, just like we saw early in the Grand Prix of Alabama at Barber Motorsports Park. Separated by 2-3 tenths, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if we see the same level of competition as we saw at Barber, as Macaulay took that right-hander very tight, but, you know, able to get a good exit out of there. But, yeah, Macaulay, for lack of a better term, in the driver's... Oh, that... I was literally about to say he's in the driver's seat, but he was into the wall instead.
Huge trouble right there through about turns 9 to 10 there.
The pit lane?
Yeah, and then the hairpin as well. Yeah, he's going to have to back up and go down pit road. Oh, this is a very hairy situation for the number 17.
Yeah, this is disastrous here with everyone coming so close here. Not really an entry, like a safe entry point for him, so he's basically just got to watch as the field goes by, dropping all the way down to 12th, and you'd have to think, yeah, pit lane's imminent.
Yeah, there we go. So just kind of waiting for everyone just so that he could avoid a hazardous incident taking out anyone else. We're going to have to definitely take a look at what just happened, because there's another driver behind him is trouble. That was the 15 of Kyle Knoll now coming down pit road. There's a lot of drivers going through some early issues, and a couple other cars as well.
A lot of self-inflicted stuff, though. Not really a whole lot of wheel-to-wheel contact so far. Again, just speaks to how much tighter things are around this Long Beach street circuit.
What in the world happened to Dimitrov? Oh, no. Oh. Into the wall on the left side, and then... Oh, man.
Because 4 tires weren't enough, he went to get some more, and Macaulay did as well. Just, yeah, took that right-hander too tight, didn't quite scrub enough speed off. That's not how he intended to do so.
Oh, no. The 17's out.
And, I mean, you saw the contact there. You'd have to figure there'd be some kind of a virtual suspension issue on that left side. And, yeah, that almost felt academic. Sort of, you know, similar to how the damage ultimately befell Charlie Sears last week. And, yeah, it's an early retirement for a guy who would have been one of the early favorites.
So 2 races in a row, a top driver gets taken out early in a DART Season 2 on iRacing race. Last race, again, he couldn't even make a whole lap. The 32 of Charlie Sears out in that one, but now he's this time around leading the way by over 10 seconds. Meanwhile, the 17 of Corbin McCauley, who was an early favorite last week and was also as well in this one, huge mistakes going through turns 9 through 10. And he is out of the second edition of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. What an absolute shame for the 17 Holland College Honda.
But notably, what happened to Bahm to put him a lap down? I didn't think he'd picked up any damage in that situation.
Oh, man. Really?
That's what the leaderboard says. Because it shows Andy Hurdle in second.
Hang on. Yeah, he's disconnected. I don't know what did he have another. Oh no!
Oh,
How? That's two
That's that
top.
same corner.
That's two top drivers out just 5 laps in. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I say that's the same corner where he and Corbin McCauley had been battling, I think, just the previous lap, if at most 2 laps before. And that's what ultimately got the 17. That one entirely self-inflicted from the 3.
This is going to be absolutely huge for the points because that's the top 2 drivers in points out of this race. And again, if we go back again to the guy who couldn't even make a lap in the Grand Prix of Alabama, this guy is now leading the way by a huge margin. It's pretty much half of the distance that Dylan Bahm got at the end of last week's race. It's about almost 15 seconds over the 7 of Andy Hurdle. So the 32 will get some well-needed points if he can survive this one too.
Yeah, I mean, with the way the gap's built out right now, and suddenly the 2 closest challengers both having crashed out, feels like at some point Charlie Sears will be able to just take a stroll into those Pike outlets that are on that Pine Avenue straightaway, buy himself a couple little things there as souvenirs from Long Beach, and then get back in the car and potentially still pick up the checkered flag if he keeps up this pace.
So Dylan Bahm out of the race 3 laps down right now, but he's going to no doubt drop down the leaderboard as the race goes on. Caden Tuff's still in his pit box, 3 laps down. Still in the server, though. Kyle Noel at 4 laps down. Again, we saw him in turn 11, coming off the hairpin turn, have trouble. So, wonder if he might eventually end up DNFing, but we'll have to wait and see. As Michael Dimitrov, again, also in his pit box, at 5 laps down. Hunter Young as well at 5 laps down. Oh, there goes someone. It's Kyle Noel.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that he stayed in the server, it's not entirely a surprise to see him coming back. Obviously, a delay perhaps to fix up some damage. But, yeah, we'll have to see if he's able to salvage a couple of more points here over the course of the evening. Because, again, you're seeing drivers crash all around. Why not, just stick it out and grab yourself another position or 2?
And with Charlie Sears practically doing his version of Dylan Bahm from last Tuesday, the battle right here is for the 2nd position as Andy Hurdle currently holds it in the number 7. Again, 17 seconds behind Sears, but he is just over a second ahead at Swainson, number 99 rookie, who is, again, he's pretty much sandwiched in between 2 veterans here, again, in Hurdle and Ford, he qualified in the top 5. Ford trying to make his way up as he's about a second or so behind, so about a second separating all of these 3 drivers here. This could get very interesting here as now we're on lap 10 of 45. But again, we're just kind of, after what we saw with Bahm and McCauley, it's just a matter of who can survive until the end and not make a mistake, especially at the end of the long straightaways. As we also see, too, on the leaderboard, or on my timing screen, the number 75 of Darcy Cudmore is the 3rd DNF in this Grand Prix.
Okay, so you're seeing stuff that I'm not just yet, because I'm showing him as 13th right now, as we got a comment from Caden Tufts in our separate chat, so I wonder if maybe his night could be close to finished here as well.
So here's the number 80 of Mark Ouellette getting put 1 lap down as he's going to let Darcy Ford get past. Okay, yeah, there we go. That might have been a little scary if that did not happen, especially knowing this first corner there, but...
Yeah, I wonder if maybe the opposite lines should have been taken there in that lapping attempt.
So we go through the rest of the field here. There's the number 1 of CD Magram. The GTR Motorsports BMW, sponsored by Nordic Aluminum, A1 Grassroots Lawn Maintenance and Landscaping. In the 5th position, not too bad. Again, remember, he finished at the bottom of the podium in last week's race, of course. The 3rd position behind Corbin McCauley.
Chance? At Barber by chance? Is that what you were looking for?
No, I was just making sure he did finish 3rd. I knew it was Barber. But yeah, behind McCauley and Bahm, of course. Again, he had qualified, I believe, 5th, so actually qualified 5th there. And now right here, he's running in 5th at Long Beach. So Again, kind of took a pause there just to make sure that was all correct right there. Jose Mercado in the 6th position, continuing to do well, and again, his first full-time open-wheel season in the Canadian Motorsports Network and in the Dart Series as well. Again, he does have an inaugural Indy 250 start, but he's never run on road courses, street circuits. This is his first time on a street circuit specifically. Road course debut, of course, was last week at Barber. Man, that coming off turn 3 there is extremely tight on that left front. I would say on both of those left side tires, actually. But yes, the number 9 of the GTR Motorsports BMW rookie, Jose Mercado, not doing so bad, you were going to say?
I was going to say I thought there might have been a bit of contact behind him. I thought someone might have gotten into that section of tires.
As we see Patrick Hernandez here in his pit box. Oh, was that damage inflicted? We'll have to take a look.
Hard to know.
Ooh, and that might just be a regular pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, if he started on the softs, then it could well be. There, he just disappeared, though.
And now he's disappeared. Oh, yeah, and yeah, I guess I can confirm to you now that Caden Tufts is now out of this race. Is that going to be 5 drivers out within 13 laps?
Well, I mean, it's a familiar pattern, or at least it's been established over the first couple of weeks. But again, I think, it was 2 very tough tracks to start here, as we see a proper lapping motion there, as I believe that's Sears getting past Butler.
That would be correct. So, yeah, Sears just being the class of the field. Yeah. Okay, I just got word, actually, we're going to stick at potentially 4 DNFs, because actually Corbin McCauley has decided to stick it out and wait for the damage to be repaired, and he will try to make up some laps and gain some, or not, actually, saying the car's uncontrollable, but if he is able to get the car going and, be able to finish the race somehow, he'll be able to gain some ground on the rest of these drivers who are indeed out of the races. My goodness, that was close against the number 1 is CD Magram. So the 17 kind of doing a bit of a trial run here to see if his car can make it to the end.
And a bit of an update on Patrick Hernandez. We did see him disappear. It popped up on my screen. He said he hit a wall, quote, very hard, and his night is also done.
Oh boy, the 17 says when he's going forward, his wheel is, I believe I heard, to the right.
Yeah, can't be having that.
Oh no! And, yeah, yep. That's the proof.
That's
in the
one
pudding.
way to make it go left.
Yeah, he's saying he's got no chance. I mean, it was worth the shot.
Oh, for sure it was. But, I mean, on these street circuits, there are, in fact, right turns to navigate. So, not NASCAR, folks.
So, yeah, again, the 32 just continuing to gain ground on, again, drivers like Hurdle, Swainson, and Ford up there. Over 25 seconds ahead of everyone. It's just, the thing is, the way this race has been trending, we are all just, waiting, seeing, basically smile and waving to see if the 32 will somehow make a mistake out of nowhere.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't think, with that kind of a gap already, I really don't think a tire strategy is going to make a difference here with, again, Sears having started on the medium and Hurdle on the hards. You see the gap being what it is. Eventually they'll have to flip in some form, and ultimately that will favor Andy Hurdle. But, I mean, Charlie Sears has just kind of run away and hid here.
It's pretty much just going to be a determination of everyone behind him because, again, the rookie Jonathan Swainson looking to find some way to gain ground on the number 7 of Andy Hurdle here, about almost a second or so separating the two. Meanwhile, that is the case between the 99 and the 64 of Darcy Ford, who, he actually went wide through that corner right there into turn 6. believe that's what it was.
Yeah, because this is the West Shoreline.
Yeah, there we go.
Straightaway here.
I got it right. Nice.
You did, yeah, because but before that, it was a little hairy there for Darcy Ford, the number 64, almost looking like he was on Nintendo 64 controls there. But this isn't Mario Kart, folks. This is iRacing, and Darcy Ford holds on.
Indeed he does. If we look at some of the pit stops here thus far, none of the top 10 have yet made their way down pit road, so it seems like a lot of guys are deciding to wait until maybe around the halfway break or so. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for someone to end up hopping on the fountain. I don't recall in the real-life top American open wheel race here, it was some year, some guy somehow managing to find himself on a fountain. Oh, whoa, wait. Oh my, here comes the 99 on the 7. So during that whole time there with the lap car of
Kyle Knoll.
Yeah, that was Kyle Knoll. The 99 has caught up to the 7, so lap trap playing a factor. Here comes the 99 diving it in. And I think Hurdle, I don't know if Hurdle decided to give him the spot or he ran wide. But would you look at that, the rookie in Swainson moves his way up to second. Hurdle's going to try to find a way to get back up to him now. As Darcy Ford's just coming through the hairpin, we need to get a replay of that one just to see what it might have been. Okay, I think Hurdle may have had a bit of a lockup, but at the same time, too, having a rookie behind him, you can't blame him if there was a little bit of a scare.
Yeah, I mean, Swainson definitely more than proved himself in the Indy test race a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I think may have even made a similar move on Andy Hurdle going into turn 1 there. As you just see the 7 goes deep into turn 9 at the end of that long straight. Just didn't quite get the breaking point right. Spot opened right up and Swainson said thank you very much, and he is on his way.
Indeed so, and then, Charlie Sears just doing his good old thing, 30 seconds ahead of everyone else, because why the hell not? Darcy Ford has slowly, how would I put this? Yeah, Darcy Ford has begun to fall back just a little bit more now, under 3 seconds now behind the 7 of Hurdle. Magrum and Mercado remain the only cars left on the lead lap now. It's only 6 cars left on the lead lap. We remember, again, last week it was 5. So, again, with Charlie Sears dominating the field, unless some horrendous mistake occurs, then we might have it. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we ended up with a race with only the podium ending up on the lead lap, or hell, maybe Sears laps the whole field. Have we ever had a race in the network where someone has literally lapped the whole field and won?
If Ty Higginbotham had one more lap at Martinsville in his rookie season, that would have been it.
Good to know. And if we speak of the 97, that's actually the first car 1 lap down. Number 97. Tornado Alley E-Racing Toyota with the U.S. Air Force on the side there. He's got it literally is a United States Air Force jet on the car, because you have I guess you could call it the shark mouth at the front.
Yep. But he's looking comfortable out there, it has to be said. Yeah, a lap down, but still, he's keeping it clean, which is, how many times have we said? Probably more than half the battle here on this tight, twisting street circuit. Best there.
I have a certain person from the other side of my room that may want to voice their opinion about what just happened. You care?
Has he? Wait, he's been released from the virtual medical facility?
Yes, he has in fact been released from the virtual medical facility.
I mean, I already said I'm not going to object, so yeah, bring it.
Alrighty, then we'll literally bring on the guy that just unfortunately DNF'd out of this race way earlier than expected. Give me a second here. I'll literally put the headset on him after I ask something. So with me right now, He literally is in person. I'm not going to show it on the camera, but he quite literally is right beside me. I'll put the headset on him. Here is the number 17 of Corbin McCauley. That was rough. He's taking his time.
Yeah, so that one was a little bit unfortunate, I'd say. How you doing, Jordy?
We're doing all right. Not hitting any walls on commentary or anything like that yet.
Yeah.
So, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are having a more fun time than I am. I simply lost talent, so that's about how that went.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough go here. Obviously, that season 1 of Dart at Long Beach, it was a DNS for you that time, but yeah, Long Beach seems to not be your friend.
No, I've let's just say my experience with Long Beach throughout my iRacing career has never been very good. Well, I mean, obviously in the project cars, I didn't start the race this year. I hit the wall on, I don't know, lap 5, 6, but I've also done official races at Long Beach, and most of the time it doesn't end well. I'm either hitting a wall or hitting somebody else. So out of any track on iRacing, Long Beach is certainly one that's not it's definitely not my favorite. And let's just say I'm excited for an oval at Texas next week. So yep.
Yeah, fair enough. And now kind of handicapping the rest of the race here as we're coming up on half distance. Obviously it's kind of the cop-out answer to say, yeah, just keeping it clean is going to be the most important thing. But strategically, as we see, I think that's Charlie Sears in pit lane now. Strategically, what do you think is going to be the biggest key for anyone who, maybe wants to try and make a move and pick off a couple of positions here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, this one's disappointing, man. And I'm hoping for Texas next week to be. I mean, to be completely fair with you, I don't even know if I'm going to be at Texas next week because I'm currently sitting, I think, P15 in the eNASCAR College iRacing Series time attack for the Truck Series at Charlotte. So there's a chance that next Tuesday I might not even be here because I'll be representing Holland College with the eNASCAR College iRacing Series. So that's something that's going to be really cool. And if I make that race, which I'm pretty certain I won't get beat by any other, like I won't let's just say I won't go out of the top 40 because there's only one more day left in qualifying, but I mean that's going to be such a cool experience being on there. They're going to have my camera, they're going to have a face shot of me, there's going to be logos for the college, and not only is it going to be streamed on the iRacing YouTube account and Twitch account, it's also going to be streamed on the NASCAR YouTube channel as well as their Twitch channel. So a lot of national coverage, and it'll probably be the biggest stage I've ever had my face on. So I'm excited for that. I hate that I might be missing next week, but I think it's a pretty valid reason to miss. Let's just put it like that.
Hey man, I think the fact that you've made it very clear that you're not forgetting your roots with the series here is absolutely amazing. And given how everything started within those Holland College walls, the fact that we've gotten to this point to be able to have that potential exposure, that's absolutely amazing. And yeah, hopefully the rest of the time attack results ultimately go in your favor.
Thank you, Jordy. I really appreciate that. I'm excited to see the exposure it gives us, and I'm excited to hopefully do well in that race because it could put a lot of more eyes on me than what I've had. So I appreciate this interview. Regan's getting a little bit antsy. He kind of wants to get back onto the mic, and he wants to continue this race. So I'm going to let you all go. And thanks for the in-race interview. I wish I was still out there, but this is another fun way of doing it. So thanks, Jordy. I will hand you back to Regan. Yeah,
it's something different for us too, right? I don't think we've actually done one of these, and I don't think it was necessarily planned.
No, it was not. But Regan's like, he's real antsy. He wants to get back on this.
Yeah. Regan wants to talk about his brother's now 10.5-minute pit stop that's going on.
Out of all words to say, antsy? Come on.
Hey, I mean,
he was gonna pretty much take the role from me that whole time.
You're not in Philly, but that's brotherly love, man.
Or as I called it on his birthday, brotherly shenanigans.
Yeah, that too.
So while all that was happening, unfortunately, we missed a ton of pit stops. Well, I mean, probably half of them, I would say.
Yeah, we kind of came up to that halfway point.
Good timing, Corbin.
Well, I mean, it wasn't bad. We did see Charlie Sears coming in, and that's why Andy Hurdle's in the lead right now. Again, trying to make use of those hard tires, extend himself a few laps longer here before he has to come in.
So Jason Butler just coming off the pit road now, as it looks like everyone except Daniel Cudmore has made their way onto pit road. And if we were to take a look at the tire compounds for... Wait, give me a second here. Hang on. Oh, okay, Andy Hurdle still hasn't pitted yet. That explains why he is 2.5 seconds ahead of the 32, so we will completely ignore that. But if we do go to the tire compounds on the ticker here, if my information is correct based on what a certain person in particular told me, everyone except Butler is on the hard tires. You see the red softs, but that's wrong. Again, we mentioned the visual error earlier between with the cars and just visually with the cars and also on the ticker. All those reds that you see are actually hards. So, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the field deciding they want to get hard the rest of the way with the tires.
You have got to be kidding me.
Hey, I almost just choked on my drink. I barely hit the mute button, all right? I had to get something out.
So now we're going to go from a perfectly cut Screams video to a perfectly cut Screams and, yeah, that can be the title.
Don't worry, I'm fine.
Yeah, that'll be the title. Perfectly cut Screams and,
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm good now, but if you watch back, which conveniently the race replay will be available on our YouTube channel immediately after, you will hear me fighting for my life in the background at one particular point before I finally hit the mute button.
I mean, anything to make this race more entertaining. Because, quite frankly, only 11 of 19 cars remain in this. Other than the 17, who I don't know why he's even still in his pit box, unless he is... or it's like Talladega Nights with Ricky, with the guy that originally drove the 26, having a burger of some sort, and then this time around there's no Ricky Bobby, so no one is willing to take the ride. Did he mute himself? Yeah, he did.
Wait, am I good now or no?
Yeah, you were talking for a little bit there, and no one could hear you, but now we can.
Okay, I think I'm good now.
You're
but
good.
You were talking about, enjoying the ride here the rest of the way. Yeah, Pike Outlets, I was talking about them a little bit earlier there in Long Beach, used to be home to a indoor amusement park there, not unlike West Edmonton Mall out this way.
So, looks like 8 people are watching this live broadcast right now. We appreciate those that have tuned in to watch and listen to this live production of Season 2 of the Canadian eMotorsports Network. Not I-Word, Dart Series on iRacing. Round 2 of 13 on the 2023 schedule. The Grand Prix of Long Beach at the Long Beach Street Circuit in California. Jordan Clark really committing to commenting in our chat. We thank you very much for some of that engagement right there, buddy. But yeah, as we continue on, we are very much... Let me do the math. Yes, we are very much past the halfway point now as we are at math. Let's do this again. 16 laps to go by the looks of it. And Charlie Sear, I might as well just take the tire compound off because I've had that on for so long. We can completely ignore the fact that it is a half a second difference between Hurdle and Sears because Hurdle still hasn't gone to pit road yet.
Yeah, and I would imagine once Sears gets past him on track, which feels like it'll be inevitable, and a matter of fact just happened, I would think it's
there we go.
because Hurdle's in.
So the number 7 519 E-Racing Rolls-Royce in his second season of dart racing, of course. Plenty of open wheel success back from the Formula 1 series and All-Star series. 5 laps led. He initially started on the...
Hard.
Yeah, it was on the... He started on the hard?
Yeah, he made a mention in our group chat that he was the only one of the top 5 to start on the hard tires. The rest opted for mediums.
So that would be correct, because he is indeed does have the medium compound on the ticker, which, yes, we should clarify that too. Medium means medium. If they have the medium on, it's correct. It's just if it's soft or hard, that's wrong. It's the opposite. But with the mediums, it's true. Andy Hurdle, Jason Butler, Daniel Cudmore, and Kyle Noll are all on the medium tire compound. So, as a matter of fact, I actually wonder if this will make things interesting as the race goes on. Yes, I mean, Hurdle is, quite frankly, almost 35 seconds behind Charlie Sears. So you can, unless something huge happens here within the next 15-ish laps. Yeah, 15 laps it will be. Sears is likely on his way to victory, but I mean, we could see Hurdle try everything he can, especially if Sears does make a mistake. This will be crucial for Hurdle. So, again, we'll just have to be patient, wait and see what happens, or quite frankly, we'll make it to the end, and I will be talking to the only ever driver in Canadian Motorsports Network history to have a pro license.
Yeah, it'll be, should be a compelling final 14 laps here. And of note, Sears came in at the end of lap 22 to get his mediums off. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at for tire life here. So Andy Hurdle, on the straights especially, he can push a little bit here.
Just saw there the 17 of Corbin McCauley asking what the pit stop record is. Higginbottom's trying to beat him too. I mean, what was it? Michael Wolford had, what was it, like 5,000, or was he in the tens of thousands? I don't recall.
Well, I said I think it's still going, the poor guy.
To be fair, yes. But that wouldn't be very fair to him. But, so yeah, getting, again, another comment here from Jordan Clark saying, looking at the points, if Hurdle can hang on to second, he should take the points lead over Bahm. Yeah, actually, that is looking like it will be the case. And if Magrum can finish where he is at and currently in 5th, he should be second in points. So, yes, we may very well see Andy Hurdle become the new points. I mean, again, quite frankly, he's ahead of Ford based on Barber last week. And then meanwhile, when we look at the standings when it comes to Charlie Sears, he's all the way back in a tie for 17th with Ivan Reynolds, who didn't even show up today. So this is going to be a lot of ground for Charlie Sears to get. Did I say Charles?
I mean, on all of his graphics, I think we say Charles, but I mean, we affectionately call him Charlie.
It's Charlie. Charlie, if you have a problem with me calling you Charlie, I'll change that for the future. If it's Charlie, though, then yay. But anyways.
That would be a very Charlie Brown thing to feel.
Oh, come on.
That was perfect. Let's get back to the action on track instead of focusing on pit lane.
Well, we did see Dylan Baum and Corbin McCauley certainly at Charlie Brown moments, because quite frankly, they were sliding.
Yes, indeed. They were looking for that great pumpkin, but it's still a few weeks away.
It's somewhere in the air.
I mean, that's
somewhere.
What they keep being told anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, pit stop times, okay, 1,200. Yeah, sure. Anyways, so only 4 cars now left on the lead. Yeah, look at that. Sears is just heading down the main front stretch, and Swainson's now just entering turn 1 there. So, I was saying earlier in the race, again, at Barber last Tuesday, we have 5 cars finish on the lead lap. I said earlier in this race, it might be only the podium finishing on the lead lap. I wonder if because again, Darcy Ford is just ahead of Swainson right there. And then there's Andy Hurdle, maybe just a kind of a, well, that'd be way more than 10 seconds actually. So there is an off chance we could see Sears actually lap the whole field. But right now it's looking like it might be another case of Ty Higginbottom getting everyone except one guy. So, hey, actually, you were telling me Ty Higginbottom was one lap or something like that away. Who was that guy that he failed the lap? Do you remember?
I think he might be sharing a home with you, actually.
Oh, go figure. It was Corbin.
I think either him or Darcy, somewhere in that ballpark, if I recall. I'll pull up the results.
You might be a little. You might be a little short. Or no, maybe you're gonna try and beat me to it. Okay, when was Higginbottom's first year? Remind me.
It was season 2. I've got those results. Yeah, let me just pull them up. Second place was Darcy.
Oh, it was Darcy. Okay.
So it was an island driver. Corbin finished 5th in that one for the record. But yeah, it was literally just those two who were on the lead lap at the end. And as I say, if there'd been one more lap, I think Ty Higginbotham probably gets him at that point.
Indeed.
And yeah, there is still racing happening, folks.
Well, Sears is just mere distance away from lapping both Jonathan Swainson and Darcy Ford. As a matter of fact, actually, Ford just got past Swainson. Now entering through the fountains, there comes Sears. Andy Hurdle will be the only car remaining to try and put a lap down, as now we have 10 laps to go in the 2023 Grand Prix of Long Beach at the Long Beach Street Circuit, the second edition of the race in the history of the Dart Series. Again, AJ Knickel, the 2022 champion, winning the race last year. And there he goes. He's actually going to lap both of them. Both Ford and Swainson are going to let the 32 go. And with that, we have one car left on the lead lap just around the front straightaway. Meanwhile, Sears just heading down here into turn 9. So it'll be a lot of ground for Sears to gain. But, I mean, if Hurdle makes a mistake, we could finally see history in the making here. But I would imagine someone like Ty Higginbottom will probably be praying that it remains a tie. As actually, speaking of that too, he's probably on the complete opposite of praying, because he DNF'd out of the race. So did Mark Ouellette. So now, if we don't count the 17 who's just been trying to set a pit stop record because reasons, we can say half the field remaining.
Yeah, I think it was kind of wishful thinking, even though we said off air that, maybe guys would be a little more careful, but, the racing instinct takes over, and with Long Beach being as tight a circuit as it is, maybe not the biggest shock to only see 10 drivers remaining on the circuit.
And meanwhile, we're 9 laps away from me, highly anticipating the next event is actually the 99. Just got past the 64 for the 3rd position, so we're having a battle here for that final podium spot. So again, Sears dominating, Andy Hurdle trying to hold on and be the only car remaining, well, the only car besides the leader remaining on the lead lap, but yeah, Swainson and Ford are really, I think Ford may have just had a moment coming off the hairpin turn right there, so the 99 looking to get on the podium. Who the heck is blowing up on pit road? Or is that even what I just saw? Or was that that's the 17. Okay, actually, I don't know if that's intentional or that may have been the actual thing. I have no freaking clue, but anyways, I mean,
pretty good summary of the evening.
Yeah, exactly. But if we do want to kind of quickly highlight the schedule coming up, the Texas Star 188, round 3, 150 laps, the first oval on the 2023 Dallara 01 Auto Racing Team Series on iRacing schedule. Again, 150 laps around the Texas Motor Speedway, which is a track that absolutely everyone loves in motorsports. Actually, with the real life American open wheel racing, I think it's definitely one of the more popular ones, because that track actually put on a thriller of a show in real life. Meanwhile, on the NASCAR side, it's a little bit more of a different story. But yeah, the thing is, on the ovals, it's a bit of a different story versus the road courses and street circuits where we have the best lap in 10 minutes for the qualifying format. But for the ovals, besides the Indy 250, it's going to be best of 2 laps. You get 2 laps to get a good lap, to get yourself on the pole, and that's how it will begin. Again, that's what it's going to be like with Texas, with Milwaukee on November 7th, the first race in November. If I look at the second half of the schedule, the Iowa doubleheader on November 28th, which is long ways away from now. There's going to be also Pocono on December 5th, and then Auto Club Speedway on December 12th. Yeah, that's going to be 3 ovals in a row, or we could argue 4, because again, Iowa doubleheader. So, I mean, you and I, Jordy alike, are definitely going to be anticipating what the oval side of this DART series is going to be like, especially with the iRacing transition. We've seen it. We saw it back like weeks on end, months on end with Season 4 of the NASCAR series with the iRacing transition on the stock car oval side. But now it's going to get a little bit more interesting with this custom iRacing open wheel car. Again, instead of stock cars, it's going to be open wheel cars, which, again, blistering speeds on the ovals, especially at a track like Texas Motor Speedway. We see how it is with the real-life top-level, top-of-the-line American open wheel racing. There's no doubt it's going to be thrilling even here with the Canadian Motorsports Network DART Series on iRacing.
Yeah, and I think the most interesting part of that, everything that you just said, Riggs, just the sheer fact that it's just going to be the 2-lap shootout. Like, I think, having the multiple opportunities on these road course and street circuits, that adds a little bit of a margin of error, so to speak. Sure, the tires go off, but there isn't quite as much pressure to perform in the moment. You got 2 shots on some of those shorter tracks, the ovals, whatever you want to call them here. So,
wait.
If you don't get it right...
Yeah, if you don't get it right, what?
Well,
finish what you're saying,
because I heard you. I mean, if you don't get it right, ultimately, that's going to affect your grid position. And yeah, sure, there's, ovals, you can kind of draft a little bit more and kind of make it work that way. But, it's still like everyone's going at a high speed, more margin for error at that point, as, we're getting some great scenery here.
About that, I don't know how far back I was supposed to go, but if you're looking at this guy right here, something happened.
Which guy?
Oh, that was a little too fast. Oh, no.
All right, so right on board here with Darcy Ford, and yeah, just sailing through.
He just stops and then leaves?
I don't know if, there'd be no smoke or anything, so not really like a blown engine or anything like that. But yeah, that's bizarre.
What? I don't get it.
I'd be very curious to see what he says, whether it was, just a straight up disconnection, because nothing else is happening around him.
That is shocking. That's another top driver out of this race.
And that's now more than half the field out.
I mean, I guess we could argue that at least we didn't have any track blockers, any big wrecks.
Yeah, I mean, if you get that at this stage, then, it's almost impressive.
Absolutely it is. So, 3 laps to go in the 2023 Grand Prix of Long Beach here at the Long Beach Street Circuit. Charlie Sears coming around the Fountain Chicane, well on his way to his first career victory in the Canadian Motorsports Network and the DART Series on iRacing. Again, we remember last week at Barber Motorsports Park, he started on the pole, but he couldn't even make it through the first corner after contact from behind, and he ended up being one of many DNFs in the season opener. But now this time around, he has been showing off his dominance after winning the pole again here at the Long Beach Street Circuit. And again, if we look at his driver info tab, I mean, quite frankly, well, other than obviously those pit stops, it'll be, I think, maybe 39. It'll be eventually 39 or 40 of 45 laps led. So again, just another race where we get sheer domination from someone, and it's going to be a rookie once again. But if we want to add any additional details on, again, it's a iRacing Pro license driver. So this guy knows what he's doing, and I gotta say too, he's a pretty likable guy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the interactions that we've had with him in our race chats to this point, he seems like a guy who knows what he's doing, and a guy that's, and this is very nice to see here. Just the fact that he's so willing to help, because, I mean, he's the guy that's, pro license. And, I mean, he could absolutely make use of that and just kind of keep it to himself, but he's been open with, sharing tips, tricks, telemetry, all the things needed to shave off those extra tenths or thousandths or what have you. And, you see the results of all the hard work kind of in practice right here.
And I believe this is going to be the white flag for the Grand Prix of Long Beach. Yes, it is. 1 lap to go in round 2 of 13 here for the 2023 Canadian Motorsports Network Dart Series on iRacing, as Charlie Sears, the number 32 rookie, well on his way to, again, there'll be 2 races in a row of sheer domination from a rookie. It was Dylan Bahm. Oh, yeah, I guess maybe it does make sense, because, again, it was Dylan Bahm last week at Barber. It was a number 3. This time around, you add on a 2 to that number, and also if you want to be even more freaked out, whatever. This is round 2. We're adding a 2 onto the 3, and it's round 2.
Oh, man, you're hurting my brain. I nearly died early in the broadcast. I don't need my brain going on me here.
Is there even one there to begin? Okay, never mind.
I mean, no.
I'm sorry. Anyways.
Just call the finish.
Yeah. Out of 12. It's going to be another first career victory in the Canadian Motorsports Network Dart Series for Season 2. It's the number 32 of Charlie Sears taking the checkered flag in the second edition ever of the Grand Prix of Long Beach at the Long Beach Street Circuit. How about that for the number 32? And again, the only driver in the series and in network history so far up to this point with an iRacing Pro license. So how about that? Some great representation and a great look from the number 32, who gets redemption after, again, not even making the first corner. Didn't even make a whole lap in last week's season opener at Barber Motorsports Park. This will be huge for him in the points.
To finish first you have to finish, right? And once Charlie Sears was through turn 1, as we're finally seeing Andy Hurdle come through the last couple of corners, is the only other car to finish on the lead lap. But, yeah, Sears, he was in control from the start, and yep, Hurdle, right strategy, P2. Ace work there from the 7.
So Hurdle will go from, again, he'll finish 4th at Barber, move his way up 2 positions to the runner-up spot in the Grand Prix of Long Beach. How about that? And now coming around again, the first car 1 lap down. So again, only 2 cars will finish this race on the lead lap, but he'll be coming around the final corners. That's not ideal.
You may want to fill a fella in on the details.
Sears, get out of the way, Sears. Get out of the way.
Jockey,
no,
move.
never mind. He's already a lap down anyways, so it doesn't matter. But yeah.
Now he's going to burn out.
So the number 99 of rookie Jonathan Swainson's going to earn his first career podium in the Canadian Motorsports Network Dart Series here at Long Beach. That's your podium. Charlie Sears, Andy Hurdle, and Jonathan Swainson.
Yeah, and I mean, Swainson was another lap 1 casualty there last week as well. And you talk about the redemption arc for Charlie Sears, very much the same thing for the 99 as he leaves a trail of burnt rubber in his wake.
Yeah, we kind of missed a lot of Sears celebration right there, so now we'll get it. This is a lot better. And it looks like he hit the wall about twice, maybe 3 times. Let me fix the ticker here for a second. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, the ticker did a little bit of the app for some reason closed on me, but there it is. Number 32, Charlie Sears for 499 Racing in the Chevrolet. Two rookie wins in 2 races, and also two rookies finishing on the podium as well, and then the veteran in Andy Hurdle. And so, with all that being said, let's toggle the unofficial results and take a look at who finished where in the 2023 Canadian Motorsports Network Dart Series on iRacing Grand Prix of Long Beach. We already mentioned the podium. How about that for CD Magram? He's going to get 2 top 5s in a row. Two top 5s in a row. Not a podium this time around, but still 2 top 5s in a row for another rookie in the number 1 of CD Magram. Rounding at the top 5, that's not too bad there for the number 10 of Jason Butler. Of course, more experienced and proven better on the open wheel side of the network, but still pretty good for him. The number 2 of Daniel Cudmore finishing. Oh my goodness, the positions are completely screwed around, so I'm going to have to try and fix this with the eyes, but looks like 1st through 6th is pretty accurate. Daniel Cudmore in the 6th position. 7th, you have to skip Mercado and McCauley. It's actually Mike Marini and Kyle Knoll finishing 7th and 8th. Jose Mercado, the number 9, finishes 9th. And I'm pretty much going to have to increase the field here to actually get who did finish 10th. And that was indeed Darcy Ford, who, again, no idea what on earth happened with him. Still no idea. And again, Corbin McCauley finished in the 17th position. We already kind of saw it there. But Jordy, take us through the rest of the field. We'll just completely skip McCauley because Ticker is doing good old Ticker things. Or iRacing doing iRacing things.
I mean, driver 17 finished 17th. That's all you really need to know there. But let's go through the rest of the field, as you mentioned. Ty Higginbotham finishing 11th. And he must have had something. Oh, yeah, you did say he retired about midway through as well. And that's what the rest of the field's going to be. Some early retirees here in the form of Mark Ouellette finishing 12th. Patrick Hernandez 13th. Hard hit into the wall on lap 10 or 11. Darcy Cudmore, another early retirement for him in 14th. Dylan Bahm, last week's winner, out after 5 laps, took that hard hit we saw not long after Corbin McCauley retired, actually. Caden Tufts, another early retirement, a tough one in his Canadian E-Motorsports Network regular season debut. And then, we mentioned McCauley a couple of times now. Hunter Young, another early retirement in 18th. And just like 17 finishing 17th, 19 finishes 19th. Michael Dimitrov, the first retirement of the evening.
And then again, last week, number 3 goes to Victory Lane. This week, again, a number 3, except you add on a 2, and then it's round 2. I'm just trying to break your brain as much as possible that I even can, Mr. Jordy Garaher.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I don't know. Technological difficulties seem to be hitting me everywhere because even Discord's going through some problems right now. But, yeah, that pretty much does it right there for the unofficial results. Just trying to see what else I can do is actually I'll go to our faces right now just so we might as well. I'm just going to make sure that one guy in particular here is still... Well, no, it looks like a post-race interview might not be happening because Charlie Sears has apparently disconnected from the iRacing server unless maybe he is in Discord, although it seems like I can't check right now because, quite frankly, Discord is completely glitching on me right now. Quite frankly, the ticker crashed on me right after the checkered flag, so I couldn't even get Charlie Sears' burnout live.
There was still stuff going on, so I think it's fair.
I don't think we're going to end up having a post-race interview, so this might, quite frankly, be the ending right here. Maybe that's something I should actually try to say more in the driver meetings, quite frankly. But, with all that being said, Charlie Sears wins the race. Complete domination, leading almost every single lap other than that pit window that, of course, we saw just past the halfway point, but man, Jordy, we saw a lot of top cars out of that one. Dylan Bahm, last week's winner. Corbin McCauley, last week's runner-up. Darcy Ford out of the race very late, very unexpected there as well, and a bunch of other drivers. Basically, half the field gone in the Grand Prix of Long Beach. Just slightly more than what we saw back at the Grand Prix of Alabama, but again, sometimes a lot of people will argue that races where someone just completely dominates, like kind of like a Max Verstappen style, it's just, it's boring, it's a snoozer, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes people have to appreciate domination because they're really witnessing the true raw talent and skills of someone here in the Canadian Motorsports Network, and Charlie Sears definitely proved that. I mean, it was kind of a thriller that we did see, though, with other positions as well. Again, Andy Hurdle, Jonathan Swainson, and Darcy Ford going at it with the podium positions, and McCauley was even up there before he ended up DNFing out of the race very early. So there was indeed some stuff that did happen behind Sears, and the pit stops, strategies, and all that were still pretty interesting. Again, just another race of domination, but it might be a different story when we come around to the Oval, where a lot more guys are going to probably have, or I would imagine will have more experience, more confidence, and just, a lot more motivation going in, because again, Texas Motor Speedway, back to ovals, and a lot of these guys, again, are coming off the iRacing transition with Season 4 of the NASCAR Series, so things will definitely get a lot more interesting from here on there, especially, too, with the 17 likely not going to be showing up again, as he mentioned in the earlier interview after DNFing out of the race. So there's going to be a lot of interesting storylines and headlines to discuss with the point standings and also rookies, manufacturers, the Nations Cup, all those blibbly, blabbery, whatever you want to call them. But again, Charlie Sears, first career victory, quite the redemption after what happened last week.
Yeah, I mean, as we said a couple of times now, that was pretty much clinical there from Charlie Sears. And again, the attrition that we've seen over the first couple of races, two very difficult circuits, it has to be said. But that's already going to be forcing some hands in terms of that worst finish that gets dropped later in the season, because with, at least one DNF in, more than half the field's case, like, there's not a whole lot more room for error out here. So ultimately, yeah, there's still a long way to go, but I wonder if things are maybe just a little more careful. Sure, you're still in the pursuit of victory and maximizing the points, but at the same time, you got to kind of make sure that you're in it to win it down the road, for lack of a better term. And yeah, I think now that we've got our first oval coming up at Texas next week, that'll throw a different wrench into things. Again, starting on a road course and street circuit, that's, borderline unfair start from us, it has to be said. But and then throw Canadian Tire in the following week, that may not have been a whole lot better, but that'll be an interesting little wrinkle as well. I think now, again, the fact that that margin for error is just a little bit smaller for a number of our drivers, business is going to pick up from here.
Indeed it will. So we can here take a look once again back at the schedule. We did earlier, but we'll say it once again. That was the Grand Prix of Long Beach, but now we can officially say, next up, round 3 of 13, the Texas Dart 188 is next at Texas Motor Speedway. We're returning back to oval racing. Again, it was only the road course and the street circuit, and again, we have to remember we were all the way back in NASCAR Season 4, and then with the Oyster Bed Speedway 250. So, 150 laps, 188 miles around Texas Motor Speedway next Tuesday night on October 17th. Again, best of 2 laps, the -5 car engine power, non-negative 7.5, but yes, first oval race of the 2023 Dart Series on iRacing season with the Dallara IRL1. It's no doubt going to be a thriller. Again, it's going to be within the next 4 races, 3 ovals within 4. Again, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park being the difference there for round 4, but Texas Motor Speedway is what we're going to be focusing on next. So, with all that being said, we'd like to thank each and every one of you that tuned in to tonight's live production of Canadian Motorsports Network Action with American Open Wheel Racing from the Dart Series, of course. On behalf of me, the voice of the Canadian Motorsports Network, Regan McCauley from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. The other voice as well, he's been here since the very beginning on the other side of the country in Alberta, Jordy Kerher, the competition committee, and everyone else involved in the Canadian Motorsports Network. We'd like to thank you for being with us tonight. We will see you next Tuesday night, October 17th, around about 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Atlantic or so, for the Texas Dart 188, round 3 of 13. You're not going to want to miss it. The points are certainly going to have a lot of shakeups heading into that one, so stay tuned for that. We will see you all then. Have a good one.